Have you ever wanted to start making a video game but had absolutely no idea where to start? Well, if that's you, that's also me, and we're in this together. First of all, I have no knowledge of math and absolutely no knowledge of programming. In fact, I had already graduated university on the no math side with a bachelor's degree in political science, and I am now pursuing a master's in international relations. However, despite these setbacks, I will try to create the video game I've had in my mind ever since I was a kid. Okay, but how would I actually go about making a video game? Firstly, well, I guess you need the idea. And thankfully, I already had the idea planned out in my head. So I just wrote it down a bit in sort of a sketch. So secondly, you need to decide on a game engine, which means the program in which we are going to make the game. I didn't know how to use any of them. So I just watched a few videos talking about all of them. And I don't know. Most of them seemed way too complicated for my little game. I didn't really need a player character, I didn't really need 3D space and all that. I was mostly inspired by the early 2000 games, like point and click style games. So I did what I thought was best, and I chose Click Team because I knew about Five Nights at Freddy's, which is, with one exception, the only well-known game made in Click Team. It seemed simple to use, but after I watched this great tutorial here and I made a little game of my own, the problems really started to show up. The software, also it's very expensive, but the software itself is not very solid. I started getting errors daily, and I looked online and a lot of people were having the same issues as me. So it wasn't just my laptop or, my internet connection. It didn't want to connect to something, then it had to delete my whole project. It wasn't a big project. I didn't start to work on this game yet. I was just learning how to use the software. So I was going through the Click Team tutorials, which they give you. I tried to make, I think it's called Choco Break, which is a tutorial game like 10 times. But every time it started to screw up everything, it was showing errors. So unfortunately, I had to let go of Click Team, but I found something which seemed perfect for my game. And that engine is Ren'Py, which is a little Python-based game engine, which seems to be mostly used for anime dating simulators. But this is perfect. It's absolutely perfect for me, because I can use everything I want. 2D images, characters, text, a lot of text, and choices, and the sort of ramifications in choices and stages that can work with my game, because it will eventually become exponentially large. Every stage having 2 choices, it multiplies. So I started to learn how to use Ren'Py a bit too expertly, I would say, because I got into some complex tutorials, when in reality I only needed to know just the basics for my game. So I went back and I viewed this tutorial game you saw with the girl in the green dress, which you can open and look at the text and see how it's written. And then here is me starting my first game. You can see Ren'Py actually gives you quite a lot already. It gives you the main menu, it gives you where everything is, the text, the save functionality, the settings, options. So all you have to do pretty much is make the game, write the game and the characters and the choices without worrying about making the structure also. So then here is the script for the game I just created, and the green text is the one that helps you understand, and this is the script for the tutorial game. So see, here is the menu, for example, at the top. I'll come back to it. Or another menu right here. So this is everything I needed to learn pretty much for my game. So I can start and make ramifications and eventually, if I can, 1000 endings and so on. So what is my game exactly? What is the premise of Pentarex? So basically, you are the new king of a state. Your goal is, of course, to lead the state and its people towards a good outcome. Every stage, or level as you will get information about what's going on. You can talk to your advisors, and then you have to make a choice, A or B. This choice will lead you to the next stage. But your next stage will be different depending on the choice you made. And every stage you get 2 more choices. If you know how power works in mathematics, then you realize that only 10 stages of this would mean 1024 different endings. I really liked having my choices matter in games. Telltale marketed itself as such, but wasn't really all that. Another game that I like, called Stories, kind of did it well, but even then the endings were more like alternate versions of the same story, which was great. But I wanted something where my choices could lead to an ending completely unrecognizable from another player's. You know, where the player's choices really matter. So, you have these 3 advisors. 2 of them are modeled after well-known philosophies and archetypes in internal and international politics, and one of them is the mediator, and the one who explains to the player in a more balanced manner what the reality and shortcomings of the other 2 advisors are. The events and consequences will be modeled after the best theoretical knowledge we got in terms of social sciences, mainly based on history, international relations, and philosophy. And of course, with a little personal twist, as every artwork must have. So, with my limited Ren'Py knowledge, I downloaded Microsoft Visual Studio Code and I started writing to get a feel for everything and to begin to flesh out the story and characters. The world itself is fleshed out, but who you are and who these guys are and what the situation at hand requires is all still malleable. I'll make a future video on how I made the world itself, the artwork and sound, but for now, let's end this first month of attempted game dev on a first look at this concept. I know that as a complete beginner at game making and at YouTube, that the game and this video won't get much traction. But if you are hearing this, I would love to get any sort of feedback in the comment section, good or bad, or just to know that you're actually here and haven't clicked on by mistake. Thank you so much for watching until now, and without further ado, here is the demo. Thank you.